Hello, welcome back to the channel. If you clicked on this video, you are probably a supply chain professional that heard about Claude Code. Everybody's talking about this tool, how good the tool is, how we changed the job of software engineers and data scientists. So that gives you a kind of a fear of missing out, FOMO, where probably you never used it, you heard that you need to use a terminal for that, and it's probably too complex for you. I got you covered. With this video, in less than 10 minutes, you will be able to build your first project. Because, in my opinion, as a supply chain professionals, this is a great opportunity to have this kind of tools to prototype any idea you have that would help you to optimize your processes or the one of your colleagues. I will not promise you that you'll be able to build production-ready applications, but it's a good way to prototype any idea that you have in mind and sell a kind of a concept that you would have to solve a specific operational issue. At the end of this short tutorial, you will be able to build this web application that is used to simulate the impact of demand variability or lead times on inventory management rules. So the idea here is to help stores, warehouses optimize the way that they are replenished to absorb the demand variability and avoid stockouts. So in a previous tutorial that I have published last year, it took 1 hour to build this app. So I've explained the theory behind, and then we have created the whole application and deployed it here. Now, with Claude Code, you will be able to do it in less than 5 minutes, just the time to take a coffee. For that, I need you to follow the steps that I'm going to list now. So the first step is to install VS Code. So VS Code is an IDE, an integrated development environment. This is basically the software that helps programmers write code efficiently. And the UI looks like this. So when everything will be set up, what you will have is Claude Code that is accessible here. With the chat interface, we won't need to use the CLI or the terminal like some people fear and don't use Claude Code due to that. No, we are going to use a chat that you have, the same that you have on ChatGPT on Claude.ai. On the left side, you have the code that you have generated or Claude has generated. And here, this is the app that I just showed you, which is a very simple code in Python. And you have access here on the terminal that you may need sometimes, but I will explain you the type of commands that you need. So for that, you should go on code.visualstudio.com. I have put the link in the description, and you download VS Code for Windows or Mac if you are using Mac. Then when you're done, you go back to VS Code here, and I would like you to go on these squares, the buttons, which is the section for the extensions. So basically on VS Code, it's like on your browser Chrome, for instance, you have extensions that enables you to add functionalities, features. These extensions can be designed by Windows itself or by external provider like Claude. And you just type Claude Code. You will arrive here. So here it's already installed for me. What you will have to do is just to click install. And then you reload completely VS Code, and then you will have access to this window. So when you did that, normally you will arrive here. So you will have Claude Code that is open, but still not logged. So what you need to do is to click on, if you have like a subscription of Claude, you click on Claude.ai subscription. And for that, you don't need to have the $90 or $200 subscription. The one of $20 is enough. And I will explain you to how you can use less tokens. So then you will have this window that pops up. You copy the link. You go on Chrome. You paste the link. You click authorize. So this is basically giving to your VS Code access to your Claude Code subscription. And when it's done, it should be set up. If you go back to VS Code, you should have now your normal window of Claude Code. Here I already have something. This is the the task that I asked to Claude to prepare the prompt that I will share with you. But if you open a new window, you should arrive here. So now you are set up, you have Claude Code. What you need to do now is to install Python. So now that we have installed VS Code and the Claude Code extension with the connection to your Claude subscription, now we need to install Python. So I am assuming that you are using a Windows computer and not on Linux. So in that case, Claude itself, due to the limitation of the rights, will not be able to install Python itself. So this is why you need to do it manually. So that way you are sure that there are no issues, because probably one of the biggest blocking points is if you face issues that you cannot understand, you will not have the courage to build. So here, by doing it manually, I'm sure that you will be able to build anything because it will be based on a proper installation of Python. And for that, you just need to follow the steps that I will show you now. So to install Python, you just need to go to python.org/downloads, and you click on this button, the Download Python Install Manager. I can do that in front of you. Why Python? It's because it's probably like the best language as a supply chain engineer to start learning automation or data science that could be applied to optimize logistics, manufacturing, and distribution operations. This is the language that I learned as a supply chain engineer, and this is probably one of the language where Claude or any LLM is the most familiar with. And the app that we are going to build is using Streamlit, which is a Python framework. So trust me, it's probably the best way for you to start learning programming. Don't go to low-level programming language that may be too complicated for you. So then you can click on the Python install manager. So for me, it's already installed. So what you can click here is on install. You just follow the different steps, and normally Python is in your machine. If you face any issue in the next steps, don't hesitate to reboot your computer. Now, let's imagine that Python is installed. We just need to check that it's correctly installed. So for that, we just go back to VS Code. So now we are back in VS Code. On the right, we have Claude Code. We can say, hey. And while waiting, so yeah, how can I help you today? So Claude is working. So what we need to do before asking Claude to build our app is to go here on File, not on File, View, Run, Terminal. And you click here on New Terminal. So yes, we are going to use the terminal, but not to interact with Claude for basic manipulations. And if you don't understand what we are doing, don't worry, you can always ask Claude for clarification. But here I'm going to explain to you what we are going to do now. So first, we need to check that Python is installed. So for that, you type Python and then version. And if everything worked, you are supposed to have the version Python 3.14.4 appearing here. But we can also ask Claude, do I have Python? And Claude normally has, Claude will basically generate the same command that I did, a bit more complex probably. Here it is trying two different commands depending on the type of versions that you have on Python. You see the output that we have here, so we can confirm that Python is installed. So now you can build anything. So what you are going to build is the app that I showed you before. So for that, I have prepared a prompt that you can find in the link that I have put in the description. I will just copy and paste the prompt. Or you know what? I will not copy and paste. I will put it at the root. So here, if you are not familiar with VS Code, I will zoom a bit. Here, these are all the different files that we have in the folder of VS Code. So if you just open VS Code, and you don't have a folder yet, you just open a folder in your Windows directory, and this will be the files. So you can create a new folder, and this will be the files that you have. So normally you will have nothing. When you will start to exchange with Claude, you will have this additional repo that will be created. It is basically storing the historic of discussions that you have with Claude. You can add some skills, but this is more for advanced users, and you can discover that later when you are more familiar. What we can do here is that we want to build our app in less than 10 minutes. So we will ask Claude. So what you can do is you will follow the link that you can find in the description, download this markdown file. So markdown is just a specific way, it's text with a specific format. Put that at the root, and you will say, I want to build a Streamlit app. I would say app, we not say Streamlit, an app following the instructions that you can find in. And here what you can do is you right click here, copy pass, share that to Claude. And then you wait. And I will try here to explain you what Claude is doing. So first step, Claude is reading the file. So Claude is able to read any file, depending on the type I would say, rights that you have provided to him. Read any file and understand the content. How do you fix the rights is here. So you have 3 different types of usage of Claude. The first one is ask before edits. It's basically every time that Claude will want to edit a file, it will ask you the permission. And you have the edit automatically mode, where basically it will edit any file without asking you the authorization. But don't worry, when the file is critical, it will still ask you. So Claude can read files, write files, delete files, and also run commands like the commands that I showed you to know if the version is ready. So this is exactly what he's doing now. So first, he was checking on the folder if the type of files that there are. Here, he found the file that has the same name as I gave him. He starts to read the file, and then based on that, so in this file, maybe I can detail a bit. I explain how to build the app that I have showed you before. So I give the project architecture, the requirements, so what type of library. So in Python, Python is code, you build your code, but you can reuse code that has been created by others. And this is what we call libraries. And we call that open source libraries is because it's shared to everybody. In the meantime, what I can see here is that Claude is asking me the permission for this command. So here, maybe let me just finish the explanation here. So I gave him the structure, I gave him the different libraries to download. Among these libraries, you have Streamlit, that is the library that is used to build the app. Pandas, which is a library that is used in Python to manipulate data frames. So imagine data frames like tables, like you have in your spreadsheets, where you can create columns, delete columns, merge. So all the type of manipulation that you will do on Excel can be done with Pandas. NumPy, it's a bit more mathematical library that is used to manipulate vectors. Matplotlib is for the visuals, the ones that you saw on the app. And Pydantic is like more a way to structure your code, to put formats on the different parameters that are used. So what I can see here is that I asked in the prompt, Claude, to generate a local environment, which is basically a way to have a local version on Python in this folder only for this app. And this is a good practice to have. Even you can ask Claude to do that. You don't have to do it yourself. So that way, each project that you have in your computer has its own environment and will not contaminate others. But for that, it needs a bit of admin rights. So I accept. Then here, it's more details about Git inure. So Git inure is basically, Git is a tool that you can use to share code. And what you can see here is that Claude is downloading all the different libraries that I've told you about. So I can minimize this. Here I describe the parameters that we're gonna have in the different functions. So this is supply chain, so I can go in details here. Basically, D is the average demand that we have. T total is the cycle, is the entire simulation horizon. LD is the lead time. If you want more details, you can check the previous tutorial. And then it will build the rest of the code. So that's what Claude is doing. So, you know, he wrote the requirement files where you have all the libraries that you need to download. Then he started to build the different Python scripts that you can find here. So here it's telling you what he's building, and here on the left you can see the code that has been generated. He will build app.py, which is the main file for your application. Now, let me create the Venv and install deps and init git. So Venv is what I told you about, is this virtual environment, which is basically a way to have a local version of Python inside your folder. So that way, if you have another app that needs other libraries, they don't contaminate the main Python that you have in your machine. So instead of using the Python that is shared across all folders in your computers, now we are going to use a local version that is only for this app. So here, I get, yes. So here is initiating Git, but probably as a beginner, you don't need yet to share your code. So I will say forget. So here, it gives you the choice. Do you want to do it or not? For me, I will give him more details. Forget about Git, just launch the app locally. So then he asked me here to basically launch the app. So if I enter in the details here, it's going to the right folder, project, source, Venv script activate. It's the command to activate your local environment, to basically have this local version of Python activated. And then streamlit.run.app.py, which is a very important command, is basically the command to launch your app. So for the sake of the tutorial, I would prefer to do it manually so I can explain you what we are doing. So here, a quick shortcut. If you click on Ctrl-B, you can hide the files because we don't need them. So the first thing first, we need to go to the folder project, you know. CD, it's the contraction of current directory. It's basically a command on PowerShell to go to a specific directory. And here, we need to go to the directory of project. So if I go back here, you have project, and this is where you have your app. So the idea here is to go to this directory to be able to launch the app. So I will do it step by step instead of copying everything. So Control-B, Control-B to hide. What happened here is that, as you can see, project has been added in the past. So we moved on PowerShell, we moved to the right directory. So then here, he asks you to use this command, source venv script.activate. So here, basically, this file is what will enable you to activate, this local environment inside your folder. Unfortunately, source is not the right command for Windows. So, you know what? I will do what it tells me to do, and then I will share the error, because this is something that you are going to do a lot. It's like telling, bro, it's not working what you're asking me to do. Normally, we should remove source, but let's see what he will tell us to do. Great. So you're on PowerShell, not Bash, so use this instead. Great. So I was about to do that. Clear is a command to clear your PowerShell. Great. So now we have activated our local environment. So that means we are in this environment inside a folder that is only for our app. As you could see here, this .vnv has been added. So now we can run Streamlit run.app. So if I go back to the folder, we are basically running this script that will launch our app. So I will copy this, paste that, boom. So now Streamlit will run. Normally this window will be open automatically and then you have your app. So as you could see, it took us less than 10 minutes. Probably the visuals will be a bit different. So, but then that's your job to guide Claude to correct that. So here, for instance, you can take a screenshot of here, say, look, I don't have the grid here, and it will correct. But you have basically deployed your first app. If you want to stop your app, I forgot to tell you that, you just select the terminal and you type Control-C, you hit Control-C, and then your app will stop. You can clear, Control-B, and then you are ready to continue to code or to do anything. If you have any question about what has been done, don't hesitate to use the comment section. But now at this stage, you are ready to build any app you want. For the deployment, I invite you to go to the tutorial where I explain after you reach this level, which took in the video probably like 45 to 55 minutes, how you can deploy this app in one click using the Streamlit community cloud. But so far I won't do it here because it will make the video too long and it's not the topic here. One recommendation is that if you have any problem, don't hesitate to discuss with Claude. Claude has access to your files, can help you to run commands, and don't hesitate also to ask explanation. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Because this is the way for you to understand what you're doing and probably improve your skills in programming. If you have any suggestion of new tutorial, or if you want me to go more in details on a specific part, don't hesitate to use the comment section and see you for more advanced tutorial later.